Hey, thank you for making it to part 3 of the proxy making process. Once again, this is a tutorial series. I will not blame you for skipping around. I do rant a lot, but here's some timestamps. Off the top of my head as I'm recording this audio, I go over the materials. Then next I show you how to set up the page for printing. After that, I show you how to line up the actual card images onto the page for the printing process. So you get to see me suffer through that for a while. If you've seen the old proxy making video, you could kind of skip over that. I do try to make it a little tighter this time around because of the light board. That thing is amazing. I don't know why I didn't buy one sooner. After that, we go into the real meat of the actual video. I show you how to cut them out using a X-Acto knife. Here's a fun thing, between me recording it and actually editing it, my cutting skills have improved and I found a more natural way to go about cutting it. So if you feel like you have steady enough hands, you don't actually need the metal ruler, and you can just kind of go off that. And then right after that, I show you guys how to do it the more beginner way with the metal ruler, which isn't a bad thing. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I adopted a hybrid of both, just to make sure I don't cut out the back of the card. But enough of this, let's get right into the video. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, Rustin here. Welcome to part 3 of my proxy making process. This will go over the printing process and then the cutting process. This is where I'm going to remind anyone who may have forgotten from the first part of the different tools that we'll be using. You don't need all these tools, but they are highly recommended. I use all of them. You could easily do this with just a pair of scissors and, obviously the printing materials. But let me just walk you through everything. So first off, from part 1, what you'll be needing are the blank proxy bases. I have mine separated between, these are my medium weighted, this is my heavier weighted, and then I actually have a box full over here of my lightweights. These are the ones that I highly recommended, people start out with, where you can just use a precision pick. They're very light, but at the same time they're very easy to make. I have so much more of these because it's just a simple, dig in and peel basically. These required a little more effort, but they are slightly more rigid. So yeah, you'll want your proxy bases. These, so these medium, weighted ones are from MOA cards I've done. These heavier ones are from Assault into the Demonic World to the 7th, and for cards going forward in sets, you'll probably be needing to use an X-Acto knife, so I've just kind of been getting more practice with that lately. It's gotten to the point to where I can probably do it as smoothly, if not more smooth, than the precision pick. These lighter ones I recommended in part 1, this will work just fine for these proxies. So as you can see, I got my proxies laid out again. We got the ones I'm probably the most proud of, right next to the Kiki, and actually no, I'm pretty proud of all these except for these are very basic, but that's fine. So yeah, we got all the proxies here. So this is going to be our end goal, is to get something looking like these, In part 2, we went over how to go about making this. I showed you step by step how I made this in paint.net. And then these, actually it was this one. So we kind of made this one, except we raised him up a little bit, Virgil, to where his head was cutting into the actual name template. And then we kind of did a little layering method, like what we did here. So yeah, kind of like that, where we have the text on top of the actual artwork, but then we have the artwork cutting into the little nameplate. That's what we went over in part 2. You don't really need to watch part 2 in order to get the most out of this video. It's just making your own little templates and custom cards. That's kind of what the goal is here. So the next items you'll obviously need is some paper to print on. I showed you in the very first proxy making process video I was using some koala paper, and that has kind of translated into this method as well. So what I have here is some koala inkjet sticker paper. It's glossy, it's 120 sheets. I don't know what the weight is on this. Let me see if it's on the back somewhere. Don't see what the actual paper weight is here. I'll leave the Amazon link, and I'll probably put a little picture of the actual Amazon listing on here somewhere. But that's been my go-to for basic non-foil proxies. And the quality just feels pretty solid. Like, I feel like I'm gonna stick with koala for a lot of my basic paper needs. Well, I shouldn't say basic, more like higher quality paper needs. Now, as for my holographics, I've only really tested out one holographic sticker paper, which is cubic coating. It's just printable vinyl sticker paper. It's size A4, which is different from what we actually set things up in paint.net, but the way that I like space things out, it doesn't really make a huge difference. You could technically like try to print for exactly A4 size paper, but then you need to go and like buy regular A4 size paper. Not needed at all. I'll show you guys how you can print with this using the exact same template that we'll make on paint.net for the regular size paper. I say regular size, letter size paper. So there's that. Next obvious item you'll need is a pair of scissors. You don't need to be fancy with these, just any pair of scissors should be fine. The next major item, which is not needed, you do not need this, but I don't think I'll make proxies the same way again without it. I have a little tracing like little light board, and basically I'll put the proxy, like after I print it off, I'll cut it out to where it's ready to like get set up and all that, and I'll put it on here and then just whoosh. And let me see if this actually shows up on camera. Oh yeah, there we go. So like I have the little Carlina proxy here. So basically you'd like peel off the sticker, and then you'll lay your proxy base, boom, right there. Whereas like before, I was just like holding it up to light and then just kind of like freehanding it. Using something like this, you can like hold it down and have like a more steady placement. I highly recommend something like this. This was super cheap. You probably could find a cheaper one than what I got. I'll still leave a link in the description for it. I don't think I can make proxies the same way again without this. Next thing you'll want, since I'm going to show you guys how to do the X-Acto knife method, you're going to want a little cutting board. This is one of those mats that as you cut it, it like self-heals. So like there's a bunch of like tiny cuts in here and stuff, and it's all smooth. Next item you'll want is an X-Acto knife, and you're going to want to use an X-Acto knife you have not been making proxy bases with. Because as I've shown you in the part 1 video, the X-Acto knife I used to make proxies, it now has a bend in the blade. You don't want to use that. You want a nice, like, fresh X-Acto knife blade as you cut. And something that I love about the Amazon purchase that I made with this, because like originally I was just trying to get the cutting board, but then it also said, oh, you get a little X-Acto knife. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it, sure. It also came with like extra blades. Like, look at this. Look at that. I'll probably never need to buy another X-Acto knife. Like, holy shit, that's what's up. So aside from this, oh, I keep forgetting this. My little corner rounder. Anyone making proxies, you need to get one of these. You can use an X-Acto knife. You can use a pair of scissors. This makes corners so much smoother. I highly recommend it. I'll leave a link in the description for all this again, if you did not already purchase it from the part 1 video. Oh, something that was shown at the end of the part 1 video, you'll also want a nice source of light. Whenever we're doing the actual cutting, I'll have like proper lighting so we can easily see what I'm cutting. You don't want to cut in the dark because watch how much of a difference this makes. Yeah. That was the room going to the regular darkness, and then that was also the camera adjusting for the darkness. My room is very dimly lit. But that's enough of the introduction. Let's hop over to paint.net and I'm going to show you guys how to set up for the printing process. Alright guys, we are in paint.net. Let's go ahead and get a new canvas going. Make sure the maintain aspect ratio is unchecked. Had some weird things go on there. Let's go ahead and have the resolution. Let's crank that at like 600 in case we have some like high resolution stuff later. For the width, let's go ahead and make 8.5 like regular letter paper with a height of 11 inches. We are all good there, so let's get that open. Let's go ahead and go into layers, import from file. So we have a few options here. We're going to be doing the 6H stone, so let's go ahead and get the one that we had made last time. Let's go ahead and resize this a bit. Boosh. Let's zoom in and make sure that looks all nice. Yeah. Yeah, text looks all good. Yeah. Good shit. Very, very readable. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, so this is obviously going to be too big, because if you've held up a card to layer paper before, it's a little smaller than this. Let's go ahead and crank that down just a little bit. And now I have a new method for judging the size of how big you want the cards to print out. So we kept the corners wide from when we were working on the template last. What we're going to do is we'll be getting our magic wand tool, and we're going to select the corners. Let's go and zoom in here. And currently I have a tolerance at 18%. So just go and click on a corner, hold down control, click on the other corner, scroll up, boosh, boosh. Currently we have that all selected. Let's go ahead and hit the copy button up here at the top. Now let's make a new layer. Just gonna call this corners. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and hit paste. So those corners are now pasted there. Let's get our paint bucket tool. Let's go to black. You have a lot more black ink that you'll be burning through than colored ink. Let's go ahead and get that going. Make those corners black. There we go. Now let's go ahead and get the rectangle select tool. Just click outside. Let's go back over to the background. Let's make it pink with our paint bucket, just to have that for later in case we want to do any last minute edits or anything. But as you can see here, we have these black corners. So if we just go ahead and hide our 6 sage stone, boosh. Hide the background layer, and we're just gonna print this off, and we'll see if it manages to be about the right size of a card. Let's go and file, print. And right now we just have standard paper, standard layer paper in there. Something that I didn't verbally mention in the first video, but I will mention here, the fit picture to frame. You can check it, you can uncheck it. The main thing is to keep it the same every time. So yeah, paper size, letter, quality, high quality, always keep it high quality, let's be honest. Paper type is glossy paper. I don't have glossy paper in there right now, but it doesn't really matter. We're just praying to see what size this is coming out to. So let's go and get this going. Alright guys, so this is the initial printing. That's about the size we had it. I feel like it's gonna be too big. Yeah, that's way too big. Alright, let's hop back on over to paint.net. Let's give this another shot. So we'll take our little rectangle selection tool. Let's go ahead and select that. Oh, I'm currently on the background layer. Let's go up to the corners layer. Grab our little select, what's the actual thing? Yeah. Move selected pixels. Go ahead and click on that tool. Hold down shift as you grab a corner. And just, let's drop that down a little bit. Maybe like right about there, yeah. Yeah. And this is the part where it's gonna be trial and error for us. I don't have the exact numbers down. Your printer might print off just slightly different than mine. But we're wasting like basic layer paper, so it's like pennies that we're burning. Alright, attempt number 2. So I'm not trying to make this like exactly the size of a card, just like slightly bigger than a card. Alright, oh, and we went too small. Alright, let's increase this just a tad bit more. Let's go ahead and use our selection. Boosh. Let's hold down shift. Yeah, that feels good. Alright, file, print. I don't know why it keeps dragging it over to that screen, that's weird. Attempt number 3, third time's the charm. Let's go ahead and drop that in there. Just a little bit bigger. I think we need to go a little bit bigger, yeah. Alright, we already got it selected. Hold down shift. Let's go right about there. File, print. Alright, I got a good feeling about this one. Attempt number 4. Alright, let's see how we look. Oh, we're almost there. Yeah, we're almost there. We need to go a little bit bigger. This is very engaging as Rustin struggles to find the proper size. Alright, attempt number 5. I have a good feeling about this one. And I made it too big. God fucking damn it. If this does not fit, I just need to make it tiny bit bigger. I feel like worst case scenario, I made it too small again. Alright, attempt number 6. I somehow made it too big again. God damn it. Okay, pixels, Rustin. Let's zoom in a little. Alright. Should have done this from the beginning. Okay. Hold down shift. Just barely edge it in right about there. Okay. I really hope it doesn't take you guys 7 tries to try to get this about the right size. Because I'm not trying to make it the exact size of the car. I'm trying to make it like just a tiny bit bigger than the car. Just a tiny bit bigger. That's what we're going for. Alright guys, attempt number 7. Alright. Okay, that's just about what I want. I'm gonna make it just a tiny bit smaller, but I will not fault you guys for stopping there, because the little space in between the actual corners and the card, that's gonna be your, what's the word I'm looking for? Your degree of error, your range of error. Like, the more space you have between the corners and the card is the more chances of you not having white space whenever you actually, like, cut the card out. I'm gonna make it just a tiny bit smaller just because I want to get that edge just as small as possible. I want to leave some room for error, but I, at the same time, do want to make it just a tiny bit tighter. I'm just gonna... Right about there, yeah. Barely even... I clicked on it and moved itself. That's all I was looking for. Attempt number 7 was good in my book, but I do want to make mine just a tiny bit tighter. The tighter you make it, the more the artwork you'll be able to show, but the bigger chance of failure. But I am willing to take that risk. Got a good feeling about attempt number 8. Oh. Let's see how we look. Okay. On camera. There's a space up there in the corners, space right there, space right there. So it looks like we have a good amount of space there. Now, whenever I actually size up the card image, I will peek out from these corners just a little bit. I'll show you what I mean here shortly. But right there, it's about what I want to go for whenever I set up my corners for the template sizing for the card images. So let's go ahead and hop back over to paint.net. Alright, so back over to paint.net, let's go ahead and get the pink background going. It's a little easier on the eyes instead of the checkered box. Let's get the 6/8 stone in here. Boosh. So we will need to resize this just a tiny bit smaller. Let's go ahead and get it selected. Let's actually be on the 6/8 stone layer. There we go. Let's go ahead and move this. I like to line it up with one of the corners, and like I said, I'm gonna have it sticking out just a tiny bit, just a teeny tiny bit. Just get those pixels out there. Yeah. Let's zoom in actually. Yeah, let's get it right about. Nice thin line. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. Let's come down to the other side here. Scooch. Wait, was it actually the correct size already? Oh no, I'm blind. There's the black corners. I was looking at the white corners. I was like, what the fuck? No, it's all the way down here. So we need to get it right there. Okay, so let's hold down shift. And right about, let's get it right about now. Oh, that size, it resized itself a little bit, so let's go ahead and bring it in a little yeah. Yeah, okay, let's bring it in a little bit there. Let's bring in a tiny bit more over here. Yeah, right, we're just about there, yeah. Okay, so I want a thin little white border on the black corner, right about there, yeah. That looks good to me. That feels like a safe size. It's going to show off a lot of the art, but at the same time, I do have a little bit of wiggle room, just in case I fuck up on actually laying the card on it. Alright, so we got this going. So I do want to print off some of my 6 sage stones, the little, you know, my version of the promos, but I do want to also print off the little Virgil that we made together. Let's go ahead and layers, import from file. Let's get the Virgil up in here. So bring this over. So bring it underneath the corner layer. Just gonna resize it just about the 6 sage stone size. So I'm gonna come in here and we're just gonna get these lined up about the same. So let's go use the arrow keys right there. Scoot over. Oh, there's a little bit of a, so the Virgil card is using the like actual Virgil card, but the Magic Stone of the 6 Sages is using the MSE template creator. So there is a little bit of like it's like a little bit of a weird color, not really color, there's like a little bit of a weird border going on there, so not much we can do there. Let's go ahead and get that lined up there though, and it's a little bit of color difference, so let's scoot over one, there we go. So that's all lined up on those corners. Now let's scoot on over here, hold down shift, just gonna resize this to where it is the size the 6 sage stone. Actually zoom out a little bit. How far am I away? Yeah, I'm fairly far away. Okay, let's down shift and just scoot it out. Alright. Huh. That is odd. That is very odd. What the fuck happened? Was I not holding down shift somewhere? I wasn't holding down shift somewhere. That's what happened. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Zoom out. Now let's hold down shift and drag. Yep, I wasn't holding down shift somewhere. Guys, you gotta hold down shift. Alright. Right about. Can do a little bit more. Actually no, that might have been right on the money. Okay. I think we could do like one more pixel. Remember to hold down shift. There we go. Yeah. Now, there's a little bit of color on the edge, but you know, that's whatever. As 1 pixel. If I'm 1 pixel away from fucking up, I probably already fucked up. So it's still like a little bit of a border around the black, so that's cool with me. Let's go ahead and zoom out. So let's I want to print off at least one of these Virgils, so let's go ahead and drag him up here. Give him a little corner area. Yeah, right about there. Oh, actually, with these, we're gonna do something special. We're gonna be doing the foil setup, but for the non-foil, there's something I actually want to do, because I'm gonna be making some proxies for some friends of mine. So let's make a proxy of the hero stone. Let's bring this down. Line it up with the corner. Doesn't have the little corner things, that sucks. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna got to like eyeball it. These don't have to be super great, these are gonna be labeled proxies. Yeah, that's fine. So I want to print off like, let's do like 8 of these. Now let's do like 4 of these. So let's go ahead and drag this. I'm gonna put this over by where Virgil is. So the setup I'm doing right now is the setup that I use for non-foil proxies. This is for non-foil proxies. Which, if you watched the like original proxy making video, you kind of know the setup that I go for. I try to give them some breathing room on the sides, the cards, because we're gonna come in and we're gonna cut these out. Let's go ahead and print off another one. We'll be bringing this down here. Just go and turn it. There we go. Right, yeah. go ahead and layers, import from file. Let's do the magic stone of knowledge. And try and make it about the same size as magic stone of guidance. Let's go ahead and scoot this over. Yeah, that's right, we can't really judge it by the corner. It's right about there, right? Hold down shift. Try to make it about the same size. Whoops. Hold down shift. See the artwork peek out. Yeah, these are a little sloppy, but like I said, these are gonna be like proxies made for friends. Let's just be safe. Let's bring it down and make sure it's actually like, it's a little bigger than the 6 sage stone proxy that we have there, but not a biggie. This is, I'm gonna print these out and I'm actually gonna like label these as proxies. So let's go and leave it there. Hit copy, paste. Lined it up about with magic stone of guidance there. That looks good. Hit paste. About there. So yeah, what I'm doing is I'm gonna make like some little like freebie decks with like bulk cards. I'm also like proxying the rulers. Like, yeah, it's gonna be like very much like, do you want a free deck of a game? Here you go. It's not tournament legal, but yeah. So this setup right here, where we have 6 cards lined up here and then 2 down here at the bottom, this is my setup for non-foil proxies. Let's go ahead and get this printed off, and then I'll show you how I set up my cards for the foil proxies. So we're gonna hide the Virgil layer, we're gonna hide the 6 stone layer, we'll hide the corners layer, we'll hide the background layer. Before we actually print these off, let me go ahead and do another layer. Let's add a layer. We'll say proxy text. Go to our text tool, and let's go ahead and drop this in, and let's make that font size like 72. Sure. No, 72 is way too big. Let's do 48. Proxy. Let's make it white. So I'm saving ink. Let's go and select it. Just hold down shift. Let's actually make that a little smaller. I know it's, you know, just to say that it's a proxy, but I do want to like kind of maintain a little bit of the art. Yeah, let's do like right about there. Yeah. Let's go ahead and hit copy and paste. Just kind of line this up about the same. So yeah, these are just gonna be little proxies I'll make for the gang. If anyone wants to try the game out. We have starter decks coming out soon, but I know to some people $15 on a new game is like, you know, given that they're all like mostly Magic the Gathering players for the most part. Don't get me wrong, I'm gradually trying to convert them, but you know, it's hard to bring people over to a game that like none of them would probably know about if it wasn't for me. But hey, you know, get a few more, you know, bad hands of Magic the Gathering, you know. Force of Will sounds a lot better whenever you don't get mana screwed. Alright, so we'll leave that layer there. So I'll be dropping more like cards to proxy, like the rulers. I've already proxied a couple Faria. Need to do some Brads, some Violets, Olivias, Wolfgang, all that good stuff. Yeah, it's about how I have my non-foil proxies. Let me load up the printer with the koala paper, and then we'll get this brand out. Alright, we are all loaded up, so let's go ahead and go to File and Print. Looking slick, look at that, nice and neat. I'm gonna burn through some yellow and some green. Well, actually, yellow and blue, yeah. Come on, Rustin, you've been printing for a while. So if you do decide to slap proxy on your cards because you're just straight up like printing off like just straight up the card images, I'd probably make it white. The only reason why I'm doing this on these is because I'm gonna be like giving them out to people. I don't expect them to come back to me. Whereas like with my previous 6 sage stones, like I was like, these are mostly gonna be me using them in like test decks and stuff. But let's go ahead and hide these layers. So hide the proxy text layer. Let's go and get the corner layer open again, and let's get the 6 sage and Virgil open again. So I want to print off the Virgil. I want to print off some more 6 sage stone promo style stuff, but I do also want to print off a few more Kiki. So let's go ahead and open from file. Alright, so let's go ahead and drop that down here. Let's do a little zoomy zoom. get underneath the corners. So let's start over from this corner, yeah. Let's make it about the same size as a 6 sage stone, so remember, hold down shift and then drag that corner. Let's also bring back the pink background so we can actually see what we're working with. So let's make that a tiny bit bigger. Oops. I mean, with Kiki, like, it has a big black border, which I've thought about, like, remaking this, like, more in the style of, like, a lapis card frame, where we have, like, the attack and defense, like, on the side here. I think that was, like, the major thing. Like, for me, the text box and all that, I'm fine with it. I know some people hate it. Probably get rid of this, like, black bar, you know, just show some more of the, like, artwork. And then, just take this and just kind of, like, remake this part right here where it's all just one big, like, gray border. And then, like, probably go into MSE and then, just kind of remake this as, we'd have to, like, scoot this text over. I'm going off track. Okay. So we got Kiki going. Let's go ahead and grab Kiki. So the way that I do the foil is that A4 paper is slightly like, it's not as wide. I was gonna say thinner, but like that's more like based on what kind of paper you're using. But like it's okay. So it's the height is bigger and the width is smaller. So I'm going to use the exact same page here, but I'm gonna set it up slightly different, and it doesn't really change much. If I was to make this like proper A4 paper size, I still would only be able to print off 6 copies of any given card. So I'm gonna set this up right here. And I'm actually gonna take this Virgil, I'm gonna bring him over a little more towards the middle. So right about there. So I think I already have a bunch of copies of Virgil. I already have this art style, I just don't have his head like peeking over. So I think I'm just gonna do one of him. I think, so yeah, okay, so I could do one, so I have one Kiki print already. It was kind of a fuck up, because I scratched some of the like ink off. So I think I'll just redo them all, and I'll just, print off 4 Kikis. Let's go ahead and copy and paste. Let's gonna drop that down right about, yeah. Let's go ahead and hit paste again. Drop it down about there. I'm also gonna hit paste again. Hold down shift, turn it. Just gonna drop it down. Oh, that's a problem. Control Z, Z, Z. Okay. Let's go ahead and reselect this. Make a smaller box. Go ahead and hit copy, paste. So yeah, I'm gonna give Kiki another go around here, and let's go over to my 6 sage stone, because like now that I think about it, I've printed off a lot of these 6 sage stones, but we are at least gonna print off one of each of the cards that we did in the part 2 video. Let's go ahead and drag it over here. Hold down shift as we turn it. Bring it down. As I'm looking at this, I kind of want to scoot. Do I want to scoot? I think I'll scoot. I'll scoot this Kiki over here down a little bit. I want to give a little bit of breathing room here. I'm also gonna scoot over just a little to the left here. There's a little breathing room between the 6 sage stone. Let's remember to get rid of the corner layer. This is a pattern you want to go for when you print on the A4 size paper. So because it's like not as wide as like regular paper, and because we're using sticker paper, if we make this like super tight, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to cut out and try to like line up with such a thin margin of error. And then also like printing on A4 paper, it's already like a tight fit. So to me, I'd rather just have these gaps of like, I could maybe squeeze in a card, but at the same time, like it might not look as good in the end result. Like I'm fine with this. Like if you want to, you can try to print off on A4 paper like this, which I have tried. I've done that before with the Carlinas that I was working on proxies for, and guess what? 2 of them on the right side, because hey, guess what? It was too close for the A4 paper to handle. It just did not print off properly. So going forward, I'm only gonna print 6 card images for the A4 size paper. That's just, you know, me giving you a word of warning of, hey, it didn't work for me. It might work for you, but this is just, you know, a heads up from me. Another thing to note, do you see how there is like a white corner here, and the like art here is very like light? What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna like take my paint bucket, and anywhere where there's like very light artwork, I'm gonna make that black. So if you want to be safe about it, let's get to a Kiki layer. You can get your wand and select that. You know, it's kind of going into the art there, so we're going to drop our tolerance down a little bit. Let's increase that like a tiny bit. Let's go like, ooh, wow, maybe 5, 4? Oh man, that's a rough one. Yeah, let's just do 4. Okay, just kind of make that black, Wow, okay, I was going, oh, I'm still in white. There we go. So yeah, it's still going into the artwork a little there, yeah. Actually, now that I look at it, I think that's just like a white line, but yeah. Just kind of an indication of like, hey, this is where the corner is. Let's actually just use our paint bucket and see what happens here. Oh, actually not that bad, huh? Oh, because we have tolerance there. Okay, let's increase tolerance to 5. There we go. I did not know the paint bucket had tolerance. That's cool. Learn something new every day. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we have like a base idea of where that corner is. Let's come down, control, scroll, okay, control, then scroll, boosh. Yeah, let's drop that tolerance down just a tiny bit. Let's go 4, yeah. Like 4 is the good number there. Okay, let's go up to 5 here. Yeah, just give us like an idea of where that corner is. So yeah, like here, get that, oh, I'm dumb. Get a 6H down, get that a little bit of black. Because like when we have this going through the light box, it's going to be a pain in the ass to try to see that. Like this is fine. We look over at Virgil, we're all good. He has like mostly dark colors here. We could probably drop some like right there on the Virgil layer, right? Yeah, I am. Oh wow, that is like barely doing anything. There we go, yeah. So anywhere where there's like lighter artwork, I'll usually like drop some black on the corners, just that way there's like more of a contrast as far as like where that corner is. But yeah, this is what I kind of go for my foils. So let's hide the background layer, then I'll load up the foil paper into my printer, and you know, with how wide we have this, A4 paper is gonna be just fine. Kind of line it up like I do, and it should print all on the A4 paper, even though you have it like I won't even like resize my printer's like load up system, whatever, you know, where you like kind of like move a little like tool to like say it's, oh, this is layer paper, this is A4 paper. I just drop it in, I'm gonna be honest. It just feeds in fine, prints fine, it's all good. All right, let's go file, print, and print. Let's go ahead and save this file just to have on hand for future proxy. Let's go save as. We're gonna save as a paint.net. Let's go ahead and just name it, we'll say proxy template newest. Alright, and the foil paper just got finished printing. Here's how the proxy stones look. Something to give you guys a fair warning about. Let this dry for at least a few hours before you start messing with it. You saw with the Kiki in the past, I scratched the little ink on the black corner there. Just let it sit for a while. Me personally, I'm gonna let these sit for a day, and then you guys won't really notice the difference. It'll just be another jump cut, and then we'll get to cutting them out. I usually let them sit for a day just to like dry as much as possible. Like, I'm in no rush to make these proxies. You shouldn't be in a rush either, but at the very like minimum, wait a few hours at least. Let the ink dry. But yeah, there will be a jump cut, and you guys will see me start to cut these out, and then we'll get to the actual like difficult part. All right, well, see y'all soon. Alright guys, I've given these about a day to dry. Like I said before, you really only need to give these like maybe a few hours to dry. I just want to be like extra cautious so I don't have another like slight fuck up because I, you know, rushed things, you know. But yeah, no, these are good to go. I'm gonna show you the last process of this all, which will be the actual like placing the proxy base onto the proxies, and then also the cutting of them. So we'll start out with the non-foil, and I'll show you like some little hiccups here and there that I run into, and hopefully if you run into those hiccups, you'll also be able to like, you know, get past them. What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to like try to cut them like evenly to where there's like plenty of space between all these. So the bottom ones, super easy, you know, there's plenty of space already. If you want to, you could do the non-foil, kind of like how I do the foil paper, where there's like a shit ton of room. If you want to just like, you know, not use 8 proxies, I mean like you're just like, you know, printing off 2 more cards here. It's not like the hugest thing. I just kind of like doing it in 8s because, you know, playset of a card is 4, so you know these are actually gonna be like the easiest ones to do, so I'm gonna set these aside. I could do those like half asleep. The harder ones are going to be the ones here in the middle. Yeah, the ones in the middle will be the hardest to work with because you have less surface area to actually like hold the card image without actually like touching the back of the card image, and that'll make sense here shortly. You know, I'll do one of the easier ones first, and then I'll show you like one of the harder ones. This top one, these top ones here, are gonna be a lot easier, and like this one, like right here, that was like completely in the middle, that's gonna be the hardest one to do. When it comes to the actual like cutting process though, where we're gonna use the X-Acto knife, not the biggest deal. Like as long as you have like some area to cut, you're fine. Alright, so we got all these cut out. Gotta make proxies out of these two right here. So arguably one of the easiest ones to do, and then arguably the hardest one to do. Let me get the light board and we'll get going on this. Camera's not gonna adjust at all. Okay, well let's see if you guys can see through it. Okay, yeah, you guys can. Good stuff, good stuff. So yeah, we're gonna take our proxy base, which one do I want to go for? Do I want to go for these? These are going to be going to some proxy decks, so I'm not like super worried about the thickness and all that and the weight. Yeah, we'll go for a lighter backing. So this is a backing from the Alice Origins 1 up until the Magic Stone War 0, one that I just used the precision pick on. So these are the easier ones to do. As far as the peeling, when it comes to actually laying them down, the proxy base, there's not really much of a difference. You're just laying a card down. I guess if you have like a rough back, it might feel weird, but yeah. Can you guys see this well? Can you guys see this if I bring it up? I might try and like get some stuff to like set this on, because I'm realizing now I'm gonna need to move this over. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find some stuff I can set on here to like give you guys a closer view. 1 second. Alright guys, I hope that's not too bad on your end, but let's get this going. Hopefully this doesn't blow out the camera. Oh, no, we're good. Sweet. Yeah, you guys can see that pretty well. So just go ahead and peel back your layer. This is probably the most annoying part. It's not even hard, it's just that sometimes the paper is just a little bitch. Come on. Come on. I hope I don't have to like redo the audio here. It shows that it's picking up, but alright, there we go. So there is our proxy front, and you can see it's kind of like sticking to my fingers. I'm going to show you guys a little trick. We have this little white area up here. I'm going to take the back of the sticker, just kind of place it here. Make sure the waxy side is on here. It's kind of hard to do with a delay on the camera. There we go. So yeah, I'll hold it like this, and then you got the card here. Just kind of lay it. I like to, so whenever you like actually lay it on here, I guess this would probably be easier to like show you guys and then explain it. So just gonna set that. It's a weird angle. There you go. Yeah, this might actually be easier to like do and then show you guys what I'm trying to go for. So basically what I was trying to do is, do you see how there's like kind of an even border here? Well, for the first ones that I do, I'll usually try and make it like match the border, but now that I see up top there's like a lot more room, I'm probably gonna like have the second one go a little further up than I did here, just kind of like compensate. But yeah, that's how you lay these on here. It's actually super easy, not gonna lie. At least this one is. So let's go do the more difficult one. When I do these proxies, I'll put all the like proxy bases onto the actual like proxied stickers, and then I'll go through and I'll actually like start cutting them with the X-Acto knife. Give them like some time to like set in, and you know, it's a sticker, you know, it's like a type of glue, so it needs some time to sit. Let's go ahead and just get this set off to the side. Just make sure you applied a decent amount of pressure, just to make sure it's like nice and stuck at every little edge of the card. Where's our difficult one? There's our difficult one. So yeah, this one was a very tiny border all around because it was in the center. I'm gonna treat it just like I did the other one. I did leave enough room for a tiny border up at the top. I can see that on camera. Yeah, right about there. Yeah, it should be enough. First one, I kind of had it like even on the edges. I'm gonna move it up a tiny bit more to where the bottom is a little thicker than the sides. You're just kind of trying to make it nice and even. Right about there. Yeah, that looks good to me. Alright. Looks like this side over here is a little thicker than this side. That happens, it's a proxy. It's not gonna be perfect. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. So we're gonna do a a little jump cut. I'm gonna have all these done, and then I'll get the foil ones going on here for you guys. Let you guys see how the foil paper looks a little different compared to the non-foil, for this step at least. You know, something that dawned on me as I was cutting these out, you could probably get away with like turning all 6 of them sideways and you probably like have more breathing room. The little things that like I don't realize until I'm like actually recording. But I mean like this works fine too, having like 2 at the bottom sideways and then having the other ones like straight up and down. Those little things that you like start to realize like, I wonder if that would work. Yeah, it would probably work fine. Yeah. Something else I should mention, there's a lot of excess here, so like I won't cut it like super close, but I will like cut out like a little bit of this excess. So like you got this Virgil here, and I'm gonna jump cut and show you what it's gonna be cut down to. Well, bam. So yeah, like about that much. Give it like a nice like little breathing room. All right, we got all these cut out. Let's start with Virgil. So there shouldn't be too much difference between putting these together and putting the other ones together. So let's get this peeled off. Oh yeah, you guys will definitely be able to see. I think it's like slightly darker, but oh actually no, this is like super clear. Same with like with the non-foil. Just gonna set this up here. So I have a nice little grip to work with. You can see down here we got the darker like corner, that's no problem, but then we have the lighter corner. That right there is why we add that little like black like corner where we like put the paint bucket in there, just that way we have like a good like idea of where the corners are. So I make these I made these a little smaller than those proxy stones, so I need to be a little more careful. Yeah, same as before. For the first one I like to just kind of like have the bottom and the sides about even on the placement, and you guys can barely see that. I actually made this like a little smaller than I typically do, which is fine. It's just it's gonna look tighter. We actually cut it, which I mean like I kind of go for that for some things, like with my Carlina proxies that I'll be showing off later. I try to make them as tight as possible. Yeah, okay, we could have actually gone a little further up, and we had like some movement here. Like I probably could have gone a little more to the right. Like we still have like art peeking out on the left, but I probably should go a little further on the right if I was to try that one again. A little further to the right and a little more up, and that'd probably be like nice and centered. Alright, that is one down. Let's get the 6H going. There we go, there we go. It's that right there. You can see the corners pretty easily. You can see darken that corner because there's a little bit of like a white going on that corner. So we have a good idea of where the corners are on this card. Let's move this up a tiny bit more than we did the last one, and let's make sure our left and right look good. Yeah, it looks good to me. So slowly place it down. A tip to you guys that I typically do whenever I'm not like having to like spitball this a bit, I'll put down the like bottom of the card, and then I'll kind of like wiggle it to kind of like readjust my sides. I think that actually looks pretty good right there. Yeah, that was pretty good. I probably would have moved it up a little bit more actually. I was a little too cautious. That's fine. The text is going to be there, all the artwork, you know, there's not going to be any white borders. Going to do a key, and then we'll jump cut, and I'll have all these done, and we'll move on to the final step, which I'm pretty sure everyone's been looking forward to that part, the actual cutting process. That's going to be a bitch to try to show you guys, but I'll do the best I can. Alright, let's get this kiki going. So the kiki's nice, like we got this nice dark corners, and just darken that a little bit there, so we have a good idea where that corner is. So one, yeah, right about there. Oh shit, not in view. I did not use the wax thing to make this easier. Oh well, I've been doing this for a while. I can do it like this. All right, place this gently right about there. As far as like how far I went from the bottom, let's go over a little to the right. Right about there, yeah. That looks good, yeah. I feel I have a good feeling about this one. I think we're gonna get this is gonna be like nice and centered. Ooh, it was not. It was not. Looks like I had a little too far up on the right side. The struggle of my angle here. I have this light box stacked on like 3 different boxes, but we still have some art peeking out, so that's good. This is gonna look fine. Yeah. See if you guys can see that. Yeah, there's a whoops. That's a mistake. Just be mindful of your placement. Just make sure whenever you're placing it down here, That looks nice and even for you guys. We're going to jump on ahead to when all these have been given their proxy backings. Hey guys, editing Rustin here. What you're seeing right now is a more advanced method than what I'm about to go into detail with. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm just using the card as kind of the ruler that you'll be seeing here in this coming up part. I did just want to throw this in here as like a more advanced option for anyone who is like confident that they have steady hands. And I'll let like, you know, recording Rustin go into more detail about this, but yeah, I forgot to mention that in the initial recording, so off to slightly past me. Alright, so I don't know why I didn't think to try this sooner, and in fact, in recording this, it started to dawn on me to try it. So you actually see me after this part, like, try cutting without the metal ruler. Now, the positive of this is that it's a more natural cut. You're not like trying to like hold something down at like an awkward angle, you're not trying to like go by eyesight, like whenever you're not using the metal ruler, you go by feel, and it's a lot more comfortable, and in fact, like, after you get used to it, it's also faster. Like, I can pump proxies out so fast now. Like, this is probably like the way that I'll be going about it from now on is rulerless, but here's a downside that I noticed. If you start to get sloppy, you will cut up the back of the cards, so using like the paper method where we like kind of like toss the little piece of paper on the back of the card to avoid scratching it up with the ruler, which you'll see in like the next part here. That's definitely a good option just to avoid like accidentally cutting into it. After like 5 or 10 in, you kind of like start to just kind of go with the motion, then, you know, we're human, we make mistakes and your finger slips. Can't do much about that. But yeah, no, this is like, I would say like, this is the expert version, but at the same time, it's also easier, and after you go doing this method, you probably will never go back to the beginner method that you'll see here soon. But I did want to save people time of like, hey, if you think you have a steady enough hand, go without the ruler. Just be very careful if you're starting out that way. If you know, have the ruler and you just want to, you know, be careful about it, by all means, like, use the ruler, like, it is a tool there, like, make use of it. But after you've done it a few times, I would highly recommend at least trying without the ruler. So basically what I'm doing here is that I'm using the actual card itself as the guide, as if it was the metal ruler. But I'm not like digging the blade into the side of the card. I'm literally like holding it up against it and using it as a guide. Like, the sharpness of the blade is doing literally all the work. I'm just gliding it across. And that's something else you'll notice is that, like, and I noticed this too, was whenever I was starting out, I was trying to dig the blade in because, like, herp derp, blade not sharp, or, you know, that kind of mindset. And, like, obviously, like, I eventually upgraded to just kind of, like, scraping it across. And then, like, I noticed I was doing it too lightly, but, like, at the same time, like, how should I say this? You find a happy middle ground. You find a happy middle ground, and that is your like golden like pressure. And after you get that golden pressure, doing it without the ruler and just like a natural angle to cut, like it's a game changer. Like I said, I can pump these proxies out like super fast now. But yeah, consider rulerless. It's a viable option. Just be careful if you do. We'll start with the Magic Stone of Guidance. I might need to do some relayering. It's not much room between this and the camera right now. But let's see how this works though. So we got our little ruler. Don't need a giant ruler. The little Amazon link that I'll leave you comes with 2 tiny ones and 1 big one. All honesty, if you can just find like a tiny one and make sure it's metal, you're good to go. I just went for both on the off chance that I wanted like a regular metal ruler as well. All right. So I know obviously the card fits and my hands fit. It's gonna be the X-Acto knife that is the issue. Let's go ahead and get this peeled off though. So you could just lay the ruler on top, but I've noticed in the past that if I'm a little like hard with like pushing down, I kind of tend to like rub the card a bit, and that scrapes up the back. So what I do is that I use the little backing paper, and because there's like still like a bunch of sticky stuff, you know, the sticky paper remaining, I'll just kind of like lay it on there. And if I want to like cut off this edge, I'll leave like a little gap, so that way like a majority of the weight is going to be pushing down here, and then like I'm going to have like a little bit of the card covered with the metal, but I'm not going to like push down like super hard, you know, just going to be as gentle as possible. So you want to like just barely be covering it as far as like the ruler going on top of the card. You do want to be able to like get as close as you can to the edge of the card when you drag the X-Acto knife, but you don't want to be like too far back, or else you like cut the tip of the card. You don't want to be too far forward, or else you won't like, you'll have like a gap between like the card, and you'll have like some like the sticker like sticking out on the side. If you're doing that, you might as well like cut it with scissors at that point. But you want to get as close as you can. Yeah. And when you drag the X-Acto knife across, this is a very big tip. Listen to this. When you drag the X-Acto knife across, you're not trying to cut in one slice. You're doing more scraping than you are cutting. If you scraped like 5 times and it still hasn't cut yet, kind of drag it against the side of the little edge you're trying to cut off. If it's not moving, at that point you can try to cut into it a bit. But like for the most part, you are scraping it. You're scraping. And when you scrape, you'll avoid the likelihood of cutting into the top of the card. Like if I accidentally have like, it's like a little bit of the edge sticking out, if I'm like cutting down here, I'm gonna cut the top of the card. But if I'm scraping, I might like clip the corner, and I'll be like, oh, I need to move it a little more towards the edge. That's a big tip. Another big tip, instead of like trying to like readjust by sliding it left and right, what I'll do is that if I need to like get this covered, I'll kind of slide it downward and at an angle. Like if I need to like cover this, I'll go like down and to the right with the ruler. Oh, I need to cover up at the top, I'll go up and slide. You're less likely to have like a lot of ruler movement if you're going like a diagonal instead of like going just straight left and right. That's just like a little tip that I noticed. I was like doing a lot, and then I was like, what if I just like kind of slid it? And like sliding it is a lot better than trying to like push it left and right. So here's the hard part. You hear that? That's the X-Acto knife tapping the Brio. That's the X-Acto knife tapping my webcam. Alright, let's see if I can do this. If I angle it right, I might be able to like cut it. Also, let's drag the light a little over. There we go. Alright, so let's try to angle this. Yeah. Right about there. So as I'm applying pressure, I'm applying it back here. I am applying a little pressure towards the card side, like where the card is exposed, just to make sure the ruler doesn't like lift up or anything. And like I said before, we are scraping, we are not cutting. Oh, see, I just clipped the corner. So let's scoop this just a tiny bit. This needs to scoop just a tiny bit. Make sure to keep your X-Acto knife straight, perpendicular with the ruler and the actual sticker. Just drag across. Scrape. 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 I'm gonna do this multiple times. Like I said, you can't, oh, see, it's starting to dig in a little. Okay. It's digging in. Gonna go a little harder, a little more aggressive. I'll actually like put a little bit of weight into it now. Starting to come undone here, yeah. Oh, you're a little bit off on that edge there. I'll show you guys how to fix that right now. Let's kind of leave that there. Let's go ahead and pull this off. So yeah, this is a mistake I'll make a few times. So you'll just take your X-Acto knife and very gently shave it off. Just gonna take the X-Acto knife, I'm just gonna shave this off. If you start to feel a little resistance as you're shaving, make a left and right motion like you're cutting. See what damage is. And we have a little bit going on there. So the photo sticker paper is cheaper, but the fact that it is cheaper than the foil paper is that you will have these little moments here where like you'll start to have like flakes. Right. It's looking a little better. So there's a little bit of fuzz left. I'm gonna shave that right now and I'll show you guys what it looks like after it's done shaving. That's kind of the motion you want to make, is like clean it up, you just kind of scrape. If it doesn't want to scrape off, you kind of like cut like left and right, kind of get the blade working. Alright, I got it pretty much cleaned up to where I'm satisfied with it. Now, you are going to see one of the horrors of whenever you like lay this on here a little too one-sided. You guys saw for the first one of these, there's a lot of black from the top showing. Well, that translated into this, that poor border. Yeah. Alright, let's move on to the next edge. So I like to do the top and bottom first. There's less distance for the blade to travel, and then it makes the sides also have less distance for the blade to travel. So let's get this lined up right about there. Yeah, pretty satisfied with that, yeah. Once again, we are scraping, we are not cutting. I don't know if that's even picking up on the mic, but I think it is, yeah. So yeah, just scraping. After you scrape for a bit, get a little more aggressive. Slowly start to cut into it. The more passes you're making, the less likely that you are accidentally cutting where you don't want to. That looks like we are good. Nice. Let's check out that edge. Oh, that's a lot cleaner. Yeah, look at that. That's a much cleaner edge. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. Let's get the longer side. That looks pretty good to me. Alright, we are sticking out a tiny bit at the top. Let's readjust that. Yeah, right about there. Alright, remember, we are scraping. We are not cutting. Scraping. We want to get that nice little indentation. After we get the indentation, we are going to start cutting at that point. I make multiple passes. After those multiple passes, we actually don't even like really need the ruler, but it does help. Let's get that just in there. There we go. This one wasn't as clean, but easy cleanup. We just have a little bit of fuzz there. Very easy to clean up. Alright, one more edge. Now, the struggle here is that we won't have a sticky side to stick this on. So we're gonna kind of like, this is like super smooth. So that's a struggle. If you feel like you'll be gentle enough, you really don't need to use this as like protection for the back of the card. I use it just because like I don't trust myself not to like accidentally hold down too hard on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my palm like resting on the actual cutting mat, and then I'm gonna have my fingers going across it. Let's get this nice and lined up. Let's zip it a little more into the center for you guys. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, remember, we are scraping, we are not cutting. Oh, and there's the corner right there. Alright, now we're good. Oh, there you go, okay. Scraping, not cutting. Scraping, not cutting. Scraping, not cutting. It's already starting to dig in a little, so that's good. Get a little harder on the scrape. Okay, we're cutting through. Good, good. It's already like basically, there we go. Okay. So bottom's all good. We just need to be a little, scrape a little more at the top. Just kind of follow the groove that we got going on. Actually gonna turn this sideways. Just kind of like, yeah. Just kind of finish it up. There we go. Okay, we do need to clean that up a tiny bit. Yeah, it needs to be cleaned up just a tiny bit, so. Alright, so it is just about done. We just need to cut the corners. Let's get our corner rounder. Remember to use the small, the 3mm, right? Yeah. And when I put these in, I put them in upside down. I don't know if it actually like helps preserve the artwork, but I feel like it probably does. And yeah, it will sound like you're cutting the corner of the card. You're really just like chipping it. But like I said in the first proxy making video I made, you can like gently set it in. And it'll just kind of just cut the like the art corner. Yeah. Just like gently set it in there. Don't force it in. Alright, so that is a Magic Stone of Guidance proxy. All good to go, all good to, you know, whatever use it for. So since it was sticker paper, there will be like some sticky stuff going on the edges. So after I'm done with a card, I'll like rub my finger across it and just kind of like get these little like balls of like sticky gunk built up. Just kind of rub that away. Yeah, so this top one, like, there's a bunch of like fluff, so I might actually need to go back and fully clean that off. Yeah, no, this is good to go in my book as far as like a basic proxy goes. Alright, we're gonna do another non-foil. This is mostly just to show off a new little proxy I did recently. It's more like a token placeholder. I'm gonna go back through and remake my inverse tokens. In the past I used like a card printing company to make my inverse and like shift like double-sided cards, and I think I'm just gonna go back and like make my own like versions of it. The company I used previously was I think it was like makeplayingcards.com or something. You can like make your own custom cards, and like the image quality was kind of meh. Also the thickness of the cards wasn't all that up to snuff, so I was like kind of hesitant to use them in decks. But like this new proxy making process is gonna like up my token game a lot, so I'm actually pretty okay with using these in a deck. So let's get this cut out and then we'll go on over to the foils. I'm actually gonna lower this down. I'll bring this back up whenever I go to the foils, but I kind of want to make these a little more even. You guys can also see like how I'm like scraping it. So let's get that lined up. Yeah. Right about there. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So just hold it like a pencil. Just kind of like scrape on down. Barely applying any pressure. I make multiple passes. It's not a race. After I made a few passes, I start to add a little more pressure. And you can already see it's starting to come loose. Yep, you saw it peeking out a little. I fucked up a little. What can you do? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, look at that. This is also something you can do whenever you fuck up. You can kind of like come to it and just like very gently stroke your blade across it instead of trying to like do the shaving method that I did last time. The shaving method is a lot easier, but if you have a steady enough hand, you can clean it up pretty nicely. How's that start look? The start looks pretty good too, yeah. Good shit. Let's go on to the other side. Actually, let's take a look at this first. Yeah, that looks pretty solid. Got a bunch of like little like sticky gunk coming up. So that's freshly cut, but yeah. All right. Let's get the top going. Let's go ahead and line this up. Here, remember, scrape, don't cut. Oh, that was way off. Hold it closer to the ruler. While I'm doing this, the channel hit 100 subs, and goddamn, that is just crazy. I've been thinking more about what I want to do to celebrate it. I have it narrowed down to 3 ideas. So, part of me wants to do both of them anyways. But I do have 3 ideas in mind as like a, I say both, like, I have one idea that is going to happen no matter what. It's just that I might try to like speed it up. And then the other 2 are things where I'm like, I kind of want to like make that video kind of thing. I have some stuff I want to show off, and then I also have something where I'm like, this would be an interesting video. So I'm a little conflicted on what I want to do. I might do the ones where I'm like, I kind of want to do both, and just make the 100 subscriber thing like a have a 2-parter, sort of. Not really. I mean, yeah. One of them just takes a lot of prep, and I'm gonna have to like either cancel D&D for a week to do it, or I'm gonna need like request a day off because like it's an undertaking, not gonna lie. I hope anyone who is still watching this is like able to follow along pretty well. If there's ever anything where like I didn't show something off well enough, let me know, and I'll try to get another like angle or something, or go into a little more detail on something. This is some pretty like basic stuff to do. It's just that like I know a lot of people are more like visual learners than they are like, you know, being told like, hey, do this. I will say a lot of this stuff is gonna be like, just go out there and practice. I've ruined my fair share of proxies, not gonna lie. It took, I don't know how much paper I wasted getting to this point. How's that looking? Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm clipping the corner a little there, but I'm gonna be tossing this through the corner rounder, so not like super sad about it. Yeah. Also, this is getting like sleeved like pretty quick, so yeah. So it's a little to the side here. Just kind of scrape a little, yeah. There we go. Alright, this is gonna look a lot cleaner than that guidance stone. Yeah, look at that. Very nice, very nice. Very clean looking back. Once again, I'm gonna need to like go through and like rub off all of the little sticky gunk. And you also get like a little sticky gunk on the front here, so I need to rub that off. Yeah, I see a little ball of like sticky gunk. There we go. Oh, whoops. There we go. Yeah, there's a little bit of white sticking out there, but actually no, it's not sticking out. I'm just being like nitpicky here and there. Yeah, no, it looks good. This one turned out pretty well. Alright, we are back up on top. We're gonna start with a 6-sage stone. Pretty happy with how it's turned out. Let's see if I still feel happy about it after we're done cutting it out. So we'll be using the same methods that we did for the non-foil. kind of lay that out there. So I actually find the foil ones to be a little easier to work with as far as cutting goes. Like if I need to like clean something up as far as like shaving off some more, I don't get like fluff built up. If I have like a smooth cut, it's pretty easy to fix, yeah. This is a 6 sage stone, so I've made a shit ton of these. So I'm not like super worried if I accidentally like chip an edge or something. Like this is gonna get tossed into a sleeve, I know. Same time, I'm trying to make this nice for you guys to watch. Alright, feel pretty good about that one, yeah. You're gonna have more resistance because it is metallic vinyl. So like, I feel like that first cut didn't really do much, but you're just gonna be scraping a lot more than you did on the non-foil. I think I have a pretty good groove down going on, so I'm gonna put a little more pressure. Little more pressure. I'm gonna try to angle it a bit more to where the tip is going in. Right about there, that feels good. Yeah, okay, we're starting to get in there. Oh. Accidentally clipping the edge there, that's not good. Yeah. Not gonna lie, this is not an easy angle to cut. Yeah. Oh yeah, I clipped the edge a little bit there. I got a little too aggressive on this edge. Yeah. Whoops. It happens, guys. I'm not perfect. The recording of this is not perfect. Yeah. Whoops. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to like cut this one out. Yeah. That was a fuck up. Oh yeah, that's a rough edge. Yeah, this is gonna get sleeved and never see the light of day. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Let's pick it up. At first I thought I had something clean there. No, that was just the chipping that happened at the top. That's a bummer. Let's just be a little more careful with this edge. I think what the problem is that I'm not able to get the tip from this angle as well. So if this top edge gives me trouble again, is this the top or is this the bottom? If this bottom edge gives me trouble for these sides, I think I'm gonna move down to where I'm not on top of this box. Yeah, right about there. It actually sounds like it's actually like, I actually hear it scrape into it a bit now. Kind of re-angled myself. Hold against the ruler and scrape. Hold against the ruler and scrape. Adding a little more pressure. I'm starting to hear some cutting going on. There we go. And the thing that I like about the foil paper ones is that you can actually like tell whenever it's actually like cut, whereas like the non-foil, it doesn't always move. There we go, look at that. Oh, that's a nice clean line. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that is so much better. Ah, yeah, no, that feels professional. Unlike with the non-foil paper, this like feels like it should be a promo. And then you look at the top one and it's just like, ugh, gross. But that bottom, that is pristine. That is nice. Let's get the side going. Right about there looks good, yeah. I might chip the corner there, but we'll see. Actually, yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna chip the corner. Let's move it a little to the right at the top. Right about there feels good, yeah. Let's see how this goes. Careful not to move your left hand. Or I guess if you're left-handed, I guess you'd be using your left hand to cut, so I guess that'd be your right hand. I didn't even think about that. Lefties out there, I'm sorry. I trust that you'll be able to adapt. Okay, we're cutting in. Let's keep it scraping and not cutting yet. Okay. Yeah, we are almost done. There we go. Oh yeah, that is another clean line. That is another clean fucking line. Look at that. Yeah, that is. Ooh, that is smooth. Alright, we're looking good. See, the foil ones, I feel like if I wasn't like fucking like less than a few inches away from the camera, and I was like on a more like flat and comfortable surface, I would not have fucked up on the top. But I mean, like, all these other lines are like chef's kiss. What happened there? Oh, we have a little bit of chip on it. That sucks. Oh well. It's paper. It's a card, it happens. Let's start scraping. Keep it straight with the ruler. Okay, let's angle it a little more to where the tip is going in. I should mention that, like, for the most part, I don't have the entire blade on it. It's mostly just the tip. It's just that based on this angle, it's a little flatter than it normally is. Ooh, I think I accidentally cut into the card a little. Yeah. Whoops. Alright, we're on cleanup duty now. Yeah. Actually, no, I didn't. What the fuck happened? What the fuck did I cut into? Is there like a little... I don't know what that was. I hit like a bump or something. I don't know what that was. Good way, I can freehand the rest of this. It's very gentle. I already have a, there's already a little line. You can see like a... Let me bring this up. You mostly see it on the corner here. Alright, let me, you can see it on this corner here if the light will be nice. You can kind of see a little bit of a line right there. That's where we were starting the cut, and then obviously continued down across the card. Yeah. I'll try to get a groove going, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like in the next one. The front side looks immaculate. Very nice, very clean edges, except for, you know, the top is, well, even the top, like, if you just showed someone this, they wouldn't know that the back had like kind of a fucked up edge. Let's get this cut real quick. I'm looking at this now. There's like a little bit of a bump. I wonder if like I got like a tiny like bit of like dust or something stuck in there. So I will actually need to clean this up a little using the little shaving method. I don't know if you guys can actually see that. Oh, let me actually zoom in on this. You can kind of see, like, this is why I like the foil, is that like whenever I go shave, it actually makes like a little like little slither. Yeah. The edge is nice and clean now. Actually, there's a little bit more that I could do right here. Yeah. There we go. Aside from that edge, everything else feels nice and good. Similar thing with the non-foil. You'll want to kind of rub your fingers across the edge, make sure there's no like little sticky gunk before you actually sleeve it up or give it out to a friend or something. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one. Yeah, I'd totally sleeve this up and use it as a proxy. So let's do a Virgil next. Let's get this going. Yeah. Start with the bottom. Let's line this up. We are scraping. You're not cutting. Careful not to accidentally dig your blade into the ruler. But we are scraping, we are not cutting. Alright, I think I'll do one more pass and I'll show you guys the little line that we make. So we are scraping the blade across. We're not cutting into it, but we make this like little line. You guys can kind of see that. It's like right now I could probably like start like have cutting into this without using the ruler because I'm just gonna follow this guideline. I'm actually gonna just I'm gonna do that, yeah. Just gently following this guideline. Kind of have the blade a little more angled. I still highly recommend like using the ruler, but I mean like once you have your little place to cut into, you're pretty golden. I say that, but I accidentally chipped. Actually I didn't chip into it, yeah. I just had like a weird little hiccup, yeah. That's weird. Must have been like a flake of dust or something. Weird. But yeah, after you have your groove, you can very easily just gently cut into it. I still highly recommend keeping the ruler on there and just using that to help you guide your blade. Because I mean like that whole time I was cutting, I could have easily like slipped my hand and just like cut up the back of the card. But I mean like once you have that little like line crevice going, you're almost golden. Let's get this side going right about there. You're scraping, you're not cutting. Make sure your blade is lined up with your ruler and not cutting into your ruler. Almost there. Nice. Oh, we had another little like dent. Wonder if there's like some dust or something underneath this. Yeah, there you go. Let's kind of shave that off a little. Yeah, it's so much smoother. Like the foil paper is so much easier to like shave off little flakes. Man, if the foil paper wasn't so expensive, I would probably make all my proxies foil. Part of me is thinking about trying like some vinyl sticker paper, like some white vinyl, and seeing if like maybe it's the vinyl that makes it easier. I don't think the price would be as efficient as like the koala photo paper. That's my thing, is like for the non-foil proxies, I'm not necessarily trying to make them look super amazing, I'm just trying to make them look nice. So I'm not trying to like drop a bunch of money on that. Like the non-foil stuff is like, I'll give that out to friends and stuff. The foil is like, you know, special occasion if I give it out to them. Like I'd probably give all of them like a 6H proxy and make it foil. If they actually... So like the ones that I made the guidance and like Magic Stone knowledge for, those are gonna go into like little demo decks. But like if they come back and say, hey, we enjoyed this, we want more, I might give them like a 6H proxy to use. Because man, is that card expensive. Or just really hard to get. It's more or less the fact that it's expensive. It's not super hard to get. Like I think you average like 1 6H stone per Magic Stone War 0 booster box. So there was a time where like you could try buying a booster box of Magic Stone War 0, and if you got 2 6H stones, you basically plussed. It's fucking crazy. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, no, that looks good. Yeah. Very nice. Alright, just one more edge. Okay. This one, okay, we chipped the edge a little here, didn't realize that. Then down here, got like a huge sliver, the huge sliver there. Let's actually go to the max focus, and we're gonna shave this off, and then we're basically be done with the card here. So yeah, let's see if light won't be a bitch. Yeah, you guys can see that, yeah, okay. Let's get this shaved off. Let's kind of hold the blade. Let's kind of catch it. There we go. Yeah. Nice. Oh, we have a little more there. Let's go back. There we go. Nice and smooth. Oh wait, we have a little more we could probably get. Very nice, very nice. That looks smooth. But yeah, that's basically how I cut my proxies now. I get the like sticker paper, maybe foil, maybe like regular photo sticker paper, get my proxy bases thrown on the back of them, and I cut them out. Then I use a corner rounder to finish off the job. And then the one little final thing is I'll rub my finger across it, get rid of all the little sticky gunk that might be sticking out. And then after that, if I like it enough, I'll sleeve it up. If not, I'll toss it in the soon-to-be-used or discarded pile, I guess you could say. I have a bunch of 6H stones in the soon-to-be-used pile. Well guys, that was my proxy making process. If you have any questions or anything, or need any tips on like anything, maybe from part 1, part 2, and part 3, just leave a comment and I'll reply as soon as I can. This is probably going to be like the end-all be-all proxy making process series, but there might be a proxy making like update video, or I might show like, hey, here's this new thing I got going on. Like, I'm going to show you guys in a video on itself like the Carlina proxies that I was able to make thanks to Quinn. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, have a good night, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.